On today's video, I'm going to be comparing the differences between these two popular pecan rubs, so stay tuned. So for this rub comparison, I'm going to be putting it on chicken quarters, but first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to brine my chicken. Even though this is just leg quarters and not a whole chicken, I still like to brine it. And I'm not going to get too crazy because this is a rub comparison. Normally when I brine something like this, I'll put it in the bag and add kosher salt, the rub, and maybe some other spices or herbs or something. But I'm not going to do any of that this time. What I'm going to do is simply divide the chicken up, put them in the bags, put water until it covers the chicken, and then I'm just going to put kosher salt. I don't want to put the rub because I'm using two different ones and I don't want to mix it up. And also, I don't want to add anything else to it for that same reason. Trying to compare the rubs without anything added to it. So, now that I got the chicken in, I'm going to go ahead and fill the bags up until it covers the chicken with water. And then after that, I will just be adding some kosher salt and I'm going to let it sit overnight. You can do this 4 or 5 hours and it will be fine. It'll brine, it'll work good. But I know that I'm going to make this tomorrow, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it the day before. And I'm going to go ahead and put the salt in now, get it in the fridge. And if you don't have room in your fridge, you can put it in a cooler as long as you put ice or something over it so it stays cold overnight. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this off, get it in the fridge, and then I'll be back to prep the chicken for the rub. Alright, it's the next day, and I have my chicken laid out on pans, and the first thing I'm going to want to do is take paper towels and dry off the skin and the chicken, and that way I get all the extra moisture off to help the skin crisp up and render, get that fat rendered. After I do that, I'm going to go ahead and cut off any excess fat, skin that's just hanging off, like a big clump right here is a good example. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to all these. Once I have that done, I'm going to take some cooking spray and spray it on the skins, which will help also the skins crisp up. And it'll help keep the rub on too, kind of using it as a binder. Alright, now that I have them all sprayed, I'm going to go ahead and rub them. And I'm doing one pan with Heath Riles pecan rub. And I'm going to go ahead and get both sides real good. And I'm not putting any salt or any extra on here because I'm doing a rub comparison. I just want the rub to shine. So I always like to open up the skin a little bit and get it in the meat side right here. And then also put it on the skin really good because that's where you get most of the flavor where these rubs stick that bite through. But like I said, I like to open up that pocket and get some more in there close to the meat as well. That's just a little extra bonus if you can do that. So I'm going to get this pan all done up with this one kind, and then we'll be back for the second pan with our second rub. Alright, for the second pan, I'm going to put on Deez nuts from Meat Church. So you already know this one won the name competition, so it has the marketing down. But how will it win on flavor and how will it look compared to the other one? But I'm going to go ahead and put it on just like I did the other pan. So I'm going to get it on the skin real good, put it in the little pocket there, get it on that meat real good. And then after that, I'm going to set these in the fridge for a while because I'm going to go ahead and get the grill going. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and we'll get that grill going so we can get these on and do a little taste comparison. Before I put them in the fridge, I just want to show the color differences between the two. So I have my charcoal chimney going, have it filled with briquettes. I also have my smoker already prepped. I have a water pan underneath and the basket empty. So after about 20 minutes, I dumped them in, they're ready to go. And I'm using post oak today, so I'm going to let this catch and then I'll shut it down after it catches and get some clean smoke going. I'm going to run my pit today around 300 degrees, give or take either side a little bit. But you want to do it at a higher temp to get that skin rendered down and nice and crispy. So we'll be back in a minute with the chicken on. So I just put the chicken on. I just want to show you what it looked like. It took about 30 minutes for the grill to get to temp and hold steady. So I'll go let it go for about an hour, and then we'll come back and check it out. So the chicken's been on for an hour. As you can see, the skin is nice and crispy. It's starting to render. And this pan is at 150, and the other pan is in the 140s. And I know that's closer to the fire, but there is a baffle plate underneath that diverts the heat. So, all right. It lasted another hour, so 2 hours total. And this is the finished product. This is where we're at. So just by looking at them, they both look really good. They're both dark, and I think a lot of that is attributed to it's a sweet rub, and a sweet rub has more sugar in it than a savory rub would, and that's going to caramelize quicker, hence it's going to be darker. So I'm going to go ahead and try each. I'm first going to take a piece off of the Heath Riles authentic pecan rub. So let me just go ahead and cut this piece off here and see how it is. They both look nice and juicy, so let me see if that's true once I get this cut. I let them rest for about 10 minutes before I cut into this to try to let the juices absorb like I would any other meat. Oh yeah, look at all that juice still. And that's after resting. It's all inside, absorbing back in. And now I'm going to try Deez nuts, meat from Meat Church. The Heath Riles is very sweet. It's a really good sweet rub. Deez nuts is also sweet, but it has a lot more savory to it. So if you're looking for a savory plus a little sweet, I would go with Deez nuts. But if you're looking more for just a flat out sweet rub, true to pecan, what you would think a pecan rub would be, I think Heath Riles wins hands down. And the other people I asked to try it, and I didn't tell them which was which, they all like the flavor profile of the pecan rub from Heath Riles also better. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.